I don't usually check my credit card transactions. Most of what goes through is routine, groceries, a latte after a long shift. But that Monday morning, while waiting for the kettle to boil, I opened the app. Just habit. What I saw didn't look real. Four Seasons Maui, $6,380. Hawaiian Airlines, $3,920. Helicopter tour, $2,100. Luxury luau, $2,840. Over $15,000 gone. All posted over the weekend. For a second, I thought it was fraud. It felt fake, like Monopoly money. My hands hovered over the counter. The kettle screamed. Then my phone rang. It was my mother. She didn't say hello. She started in her usual bright, breathless voice. "Ra, isn't it exciting? Chloe's graduation trip is finally happening. Hawaii. Can you believe it?" I didn't speak. "Oh, and thank you for letting us use your card. We'll pay you back soon. We just needed the miles. You've got such a good credit score." That was the moment. Not the money. Not even the lack of asking. It was how lightly she said it. Like she borrowed an umbrella. Like she had every right. "You used my card without asking," I said. A pause. Just long enough to hear that she hadn't expected me to push back. "Rachel, don't be dramatic. We raised you. You've been blessed. And Chloe deserves something special. She's worked so hard." That was always her way. Wrapping entitlement in soft silk. Never yelling. Never cruel. Just reasonable. Like love was something you had to prove you didn't need. The kettle clicked off. I stood in silence, staring at the glow of those numbers. And it hit me, this wasn't just about a credit card. This was about what I'd been trained to accept. It wasn't the first time something was taken without asking. At 13, I got accepted into a math program for gifted students. I left the acceptance letter on the kitchen counter like a trophy. No one said a word. That same week, Chloe made her middle school dance team. Cupcakes. Balloons. Tears. I clapped. I stayed out of the pictures. By 17, I was working 2 part-time jobs to save for college. My parents said they'd help if they could, except Chloe's ballet academy was expensive, and she's had potential. So they reallocated my college fund. And I said it was fine. Chloe wasn't cruel. She was sweet, actually. Just unaware. Things arrived for her like magic. Clothes in her size. A new phone. A beachfront suite. And I carried my own rain. When I graduated college debt-free, thanks to scholarships and late nights shelving books, I didn't even tell my parents. Chloe had a regional competition. I knew they wouldn't come. Years later, staring at my drained credit line and sipping wine that had gone warm, I realized I'd never confronted any of it. Not the erased college fund. Not the birthdays with her name on the cake. Not the constant asks that were never followed by thank you. That night, I called my mother. She picked up with a smile in her voice. "We should send Chloe a spa voucher. Her skin gets so sensitive in the sun." I didn't bother with small talk. "You used my card," I said. Her voice shifted. Softer. Maternal. "Rachel, honey. This again? Technically, we've had access since your father's surgery. You said emergencies. This wasn't an emergency. It was important. $15,000 important." She sighed, like I was a stubborn child. "You always do this. Make it about money." That landed hard. Me? The one who paid for my own education, my own life. The one who never asked for anything. "You didn't even tell me," I said. "You didn't think I deserved to know. Because I knew you'd make it a problem." There it was. I was the one who ruined things. And now you're doing well, she continued. Your little job, your apartment. No husband, no kids, no real expenses. No real expenses. As if my life didn't count unless it belonged to someone else. You think that means you can take from me? I think you should be happy for your sister. It was always that. The guilt dressed up as generosity. I was tired of swallowing it. I'm going to the bank tomorrow, I said. I didn't authorize those charges. Sweetheart. Good night, Mom. For the first time in years, I didn't feel guilty. Just still. At the bank, they told me the truth I didn't want to hear. Because my parents had been added as emergency users years ago, it wasn't technically fraud. Not without written restrictions. I thanked the woman. That's what I do. I went home and searched unauthorized family credit card use. Legal blogs. Reddit threads. Stories from people like me, people who said yes once and paid for it forever. That same day, Chloe posted a photo. Her on a beach in Maui, drink in hand. Dreams do come true. She didn't tag me. Of course not. But I knew that smile. That ease. That effortless happiness that came from never wondering who paid for it. Messages started coming. Cousins. Aunts. Babysitters from 20 years ago. Heard there was drama. You've always been so distant. Distant. Not hurt. Not erased. Just cold. And finally, I broke my silence. I posted. Short. Factual. Calm. A few weeks ago, my parents used my credit card to pay for a $15,000 graduation trip for my sister. They did not ask. When I confronted them, I was called selfish. I was told my resources were communal because I'm single, child-free, and stable. Silence keeps families functioning. It also keeps injustice invisible. I included screenshots. The voicemail. And then I logged off. Hours later, a message from my aunt, my mother's sister. You're brave. And not wrong. She did this to me once, too. I called her. She told me everything. The $10,000 loan. The lies. The slander. The next day, I called the bank again. This time with context and paperwork. They reopened the case. 10 days later, the charges were reversed. At dinner that weekend, I ate alone. Quietly. A glass of wine, a window cracked open. I wasn't celebrating. I was just acknowledging. It was over. Not the history, but the waiting. The hope they'd make it right. They didn't call. Not right away. Not until the trip ended and the flagged card left them stranded. 2 weeks later, my phone rang. My mother's voicemail was cold. This isn't how family handles things. You've humiliated us. You've embarrassed your sister. I hope you're proud. Chloe texted too. I didn't know it was your card. I thought it was a gift. But you didn't have to post it like that. You made everything so ugly. I didn't feel anger. I felt clarity. For years, I had accepted a version of myself they built. Cold. Difficult. Ungrateful. But silence wasn't peace. It was permission. And I wasn't giving it anymore. So I did the irreversible thing. I changed my number. Closed the accounts. Removed them from my emergency contacts. And then I left town for the weekend. Alone. No signal. Just stars. When I came back, I didn't check my phone. There were messages. I'm sure. But I don't need to hear them. Because sometimes, the most radical act of love is to walk away. Not to prove a point. Not out of spite. but because the version of me they invented had to die. So the real me could finally live.